Growing up, it was very clear that I was very privileged to grow up in a community and a family that my parents did not consider my gender before deciding whether to take me to school or not. But unfortunately, this was not the reality for many girls and young women that I grew up with. Many were socialized to be wives to their husbands, caretakers to their families, and mothers to their children. Girls were seen as a source of income and wealth to their communities through bride price, which was given before getting married. They were subjected to different forms of sexual and gender-based violence, like child marriages and female genital mutilation. So it was very clear from the beginning that I had to harness my urgency. I had to make sure my voice was heard, and I was just not sitting and waiting for things to change, but actively engaging in designing solutions for these pertinent girls and young women issues in my community. 2 girls out of 5 in my community are married before their 18th birthday. And that is according to the Demographic and Health Survey statistics, which came out in 2016. 1 out of 4 girls are already mothers. And when you look at the statistics on HIV/AIDS in Tanzania, adolescent girls and young women have up to 80 times more infection than the male peers. That is to say, out of the 43% new HIV infection among the age group of adolescent young people in Tanzania, the 80% is from the adolescent girls. These numbers are striking. These numbers are shocking. They need our immediate action. And that's why, together with my colleagues, we have been championing for the adolescent girls and young women's rights to bodily autonomy and freedom to decide on their sexual and reproductive rights. Freedom from sexual and gender-based violence like child marriages. In 2016, we took a bold action. We challenged the Law of Marriage Act, which allowed girls as young as 14 to get married in Tanzania. And through our action, and the High Court and the Court of Appeal of Tanzania declared these sections unconstitutional, meaning they were discriminatory in nature, but they were also denying girls the right to freely decide, freely choose on who they want to be, who they want to marry, when they want to get married. As an advocate, I champion for girls and young women's rights to decide, to choose when and with who they want to get married with, to make informed decisions about their bodies and life in general. Generation equality will be a success if only we are able to learn together on how to harness the younger generation's urgency and leadership in order to realize the gender equality agenda. And I've been thinking about how can we do this? How can we make sure more younger people, men and women, are buying into the idea that without gender equality, we will not be able to achieve much? I think we need to recognize young women and men as frontline mobilizers in the realization of gender equality agenda. And this means accepting their leadership, knowing that they're bringing into the space their expertise and voice to be able to run this campaign successfully. But secondly, we need to resource them. Without resourcing their movements, without resourcing their ways of organizing, then we will not be able to achieve much. Ensuring that the innovative ways that they're using, like the social media, the technology, organizing at the grassroots level, receive a lot of resourcing so they can be able to amplify their voices, reach many people, and create impact. But young people have strategies, new ways of organizing, but still they need mentorship from the senior generations that have been there before. So here, we need opportunities to co-lead, where young people can lead together with the senior generations, but also provide them with mentorship opportunities so that they can be nurtured to harness their urgency and leadership in this movement. As Msichana initiative, we have been doing a lot around this area. First of all, we have been looking at how to harness the urgency and voice of young women in our community. Last year, 2020, despite the pandemic, we were able to select 25 young women below the age of 25 from 13 regions in the country to be frontline mobilizers in the I'm Beijing Plus 25 campaign. Because we know 25 years after the Beijing conference, we need a lot of young people to take the work forward. And this we can do together. As a young woman in Tanzania, I am very happy for the commitment that our president has given in the Generation Equality Platform, chairing and leading in the action coalition that looks at the economic justice and rights. And I have few recommendations for us to be able to achieve a lot in this area. I think we need to have gender-responsive budgeting. 25 years after the Beijing conference and the bold action that was taken and adopted in 1995, a lot of governments, including our own, are still struggling when it comes to financing the gender equality agenda. We need bold commitments in financing the gender equality agenda in our country and beyond. We also need to look at the women who are in the informal sector, who are almost the 7% of the women who are in the economy in our country. We need to look at the legal and policy frameworks and also leveling the playing field so they can meaningfully engage in this sector. And the last one, of course, if we are to ensure a lot of women are engaging in the macroeconomics of our countries, we need to invest in the young women and girls' involvement in the STEM subjects, ensuring that they are taking STEM subjects so that at the end of the day, they can come out and contribute effectively in the macroeconomics of our countries. We are Generation Equality. The remaining work to achieve a more gender equal world depends on our leadership, commitment, and action to realize a gender equal future.